AI is improving and becoming more widespread at an astonishing pace. It's changing the way people do things and shifting the way society functions. So let's take a deep dive into the future. A future where AI can do most jobs that only humans once could, and physical robots and tech have also come a long way, forcing society to restructure. How do looming advances in tech shift the world economically and environmentally? The future is uncertain, but I'm going to look at two plausible scenarios. Scenario 1: Oligopolies and inequality. There are many examples of large firms that exist today that have achieved economies of scale, meaning that they can produce goods at a lower cost than a smaller business would be able to. Many of these firms invest heavily in capital that allows for automation, like machinery, and invest in ongoing research to keep developing it. Now, if we project this habit into the future, assuming continued advancement of AI and robotics, firms may find themselves able to reduce their long-term costs by automating tasks and replacing human workers with robots and AI. This could happen with any job, from robot surgeons to robot cleaners, both of which are already in varying stages of development today. This means that the few large companies that had the capital to execute this would then be able to provide goods and services for cheaper than anyone else, and can keep investing and growing their product base. Market entry for any new players becomes impossible because of the enormous amount of capital that would be required to compete with these few really large firms. This leads to a societal split where a few large firms dominate as an oligopoly, producing virtually all goods and services. This is already seen today in large umbrella companies. But unlike now, the rest of society will not be employed by these firms because the firms are using robots and AI instead. So how does the rest of society earn an income? Well, in this future scenario, labor and time have been increasingly devalued, so ownership of assets becomes the primary source of financial gain. This means that people who don't own assets, for example, shares in companies, land, or intellectual property, they face limited opportunities to generate wealth, making it difficult to improve their circumstances. The World Inequality Database notes that in 2023, 10% of the world's richest people owned 76% of the world's wealth. Experts discuss that automation and rising inequality could drive governments to adopt a universal basic income. A universal basic income is a term used to describe a type of government grant that is a set amount of money given to every person in society, regardless of their income level, and the grant could be funded through tax collected from the large companies that are dominating most of the world's wealth and resources. This seems fair and could help equalize society, but that all depends on how high the UBI given is. And overall, this system leaves little room for economic mobility, with many people being unable to move up, coupled with the psychological toll of having no work. The vast majority may be left feeling frustrated and powerless. Environmental consequences. Under scenario 1, if businesses are left unchecked, there could be some serious consequences for the environment, slowly leading to the destruction of planet Earth as businesses race each other for profits without looking back. Firstly, the mass building of robots may require more mining for rare earth metals, and the use of machine labor might require high energy consumption, both of which will increase carbon emissions and land degradation. Companies today already use something called planned obsolescence, which means they make products last shorter so that consumers have to replace them sooner. Particularly prevalent examples are cell phones and fast fashion. Firms will likely continue the current trend of creating a need for overconsumption, possibly coming up with new ways to do so, for example, inventing something like disposable technology. If the large corporations continue this profit-making scheme, there'll be more resource depletion, and the efficiency of automated production could outpace waste management, furthering pollution. AI data centers consume massive amounts of electricity, and the burning of fossil fuels accelerate pollution and global warming. However, this could be reduced if renewable energy systems have advanced far enough to meet demand. And though renewable energy itself is not without negative impacts either, their net impact is generally less than fossil fuels over time. If regulations and policies advance alongside technology, the future of the environment under scenario 1 will look much less bleak. This can be through the implementation of carbon taxes on AI compute. It could be through mandating the use of renewable energy and through insisting that vehicles and drones be electric rather than petrol consuming. However, this still doesn't address the frustrating consequences of consumerism or the existential crisis that some people might experience when they find themselves unable to contribute to society. Addressing these challenges requires a fundamental shift in societal mindset, away from relentless consumption and towards models of purpose and participation. Scenario 2: Decentralized technology and local economies. In Scenario 2, we imagine a world where technology becomes cheap and widely accessible. This is due to mass innovation, open source AI, free knowledge sharing, and robust competition among tech producers. These factors drive down the cost of technology and allow people to more easily fix and build their own technology. As a result, a lot more is possible at a local scale. Some wild examples are people being able to 3D print their own clothing and furniture, or being able to use advanced indoor farming techniques with improved seed varieties, making self-sufficiency very achievable. In this scenario, government regulations prevent monopolies and oligopolies from forming, actively supporting local ownership and decentralized enterprises. With these technological and institutional shifts, people may spend less time in traditional employment and more time engaging in creative pursuits, crafting, learning, or simply being more involved in their communities. Environmental consequences. With localized production and micro businesses being prominent, there's reduced need for mass production and less emissions from shipping and long-distance transport. AI-powered microgrids at a local scale may manage solar and wind energy more efficiently because they require less energy to operate. AI can help people repair and reuse products, extending their lifespan and reducing the speed of waste. Studies such as the World Bank's 2021 World Development Report and the UNDP's Human Development Report suggest that when societies are more equal and secure, citizens are more likely to engage in collective, non-profit projects like biodiversity conservation and ecological restoration. Additionally, with increased tech efficiency, people might have more time and patience for developing and using a system of closed-loop product life cycles. This means that the final waste of a product thrown away is fully recycled into inputs used in the making of new products and other innovative ideas. What I've discussed in this video are two possible paths of many that the future may hold. The future is shaped by our choices. Good regulation and policy making will be key to designing systems that have humanity and systems that restore the health of our planet. And when people find themselves displaced from traditional jobs, it doesn't need to be the end of meaningful work. Rather, it can be an opportunity to adapt, to create, and to engage with purpose. It takes collaboration across industries, open communication, creativity, and optimism to build a future that works for everyone.